So this patch is called GRAINBOX02. It's basically, I wanted to design something that was really granular based, but really playable. So you basically have one granular engine, and you have all these controls here that allow you to change the pitch of that granular engine's playback. Each of these are the same pitch. You just have two different controls, one for latching and one for momentary. The red here, that's the same pitch as your incoming audio. And then from there, it goes up a fifth, and then up an octave, and then up a fifth from the octave, and then 2 octaves. And going down, you have the green is an octave, and the blue here is a fifth up from that octave, which is not a fifth down. Or is it? I don't know. I figure the easiest way to show this is just by giving you a sine wave. There's your baseline pitch. There's fifth, octave, and so you're not hearing a lot of the granular action because it's just a solid tone, but I'm just giving you an idea of the different pitches here. So same thing here. So then other controls, this here is your wet-dry mix for the granulator. You have reverb, wet-dry here, and then these two controls down here control the delay. Your granular engine basically gets sent into a delay, and that happens after the pitch change. So when you do like a momentary pitch thing, it sends it through a delay. So you have your delay time here and your delay feedback amount. You have a page here that's dedicated to your pitch multipliers. So every time you hit one of those buttons, it sends it to a multiplier that then goes to the pitch control on your granular. And then you have a page called auto gain, and basically what this is when you go up in octaves or up in pitch at all, it tends to make the sound kind of louder. And so this auto gain is another set of multipliers that's being applied to the VCA through which the granular engine its audio is being sent. And basically, so when you hit a button that's higher than your base pitch, there's a multiplier that's reducing the VCA level by what I decided was equivalent, roughly. And that's just because when I was first making this and didn't have that gain adjustment, every time I would swing back and forth between these high pitches, it would just be really abrasive. And so I did that in hopes of making it a little bit more palatable. I mean, there's not a lot to it, honestly. I mean, it's in some ways there's a lot to it. There's a lot in building it, but functionally there's not a hell of a lot going on. Okay, so I just have a little sequence here running on the MicroFreak just to give us something to work with. And then we're going through ecosystem for a little bit of panned delay. So let's start. So the reason I did these latching versus the momentary is because I wanted the option to be able to have something that's just there in the background, you know, so the latching you can just leave that going. But the other thing you can do is, let's have an octave down latching, and then when you hit the momentary buttons, nope, that one doesn't do anything. That was not a great example. Let's go back to baseline pitch here. So it jumps the pitch by the amount. And just for funsies, let's introduce some of the delay. So the way the multipliers work, sometimes it's not as straightforward as you want it to be. So like if an octave up is selected, because of the way the math works, when you hit this, it doesn't take it back down to baseline. What it's telling it is do the same pitch that it already is. So, but then that does go 2 octaves up. So anyway, whatever, it doesn't matter. You get the idea. And let's introduce some reverb because I think this patch really shines as kind of a soundscapey thing. I just love that plate reverb. And obviously with the pitch shifting, you know, what the audio you're processing makes a huge difference in terms of like how nice it sounds. Not every set of notes is going to sound nice with a 5th jump. By default, the granulator is set to 4 grains. So sometimes what's fun, I think, is going down to 1 and sometimes it just gives you like a less dense, less, I mean, it's more subtle. So yeah, I think that does it really. GRAINBOX02. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys make some cool stuff with these patches. See you next time.